All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and for many people here, you may not be thinking about this, but I know some will be. I want to talk about an issue that's come up on X recently regarding multicasting and putting combined chat on your stream during multicasting. Okay.
Okay.
So when we changed our policy and allowed multicasting, one of the provisions we included in the community guidelines was wording that prohibited shared chat. Now, there are two reasons we had done this at the time. First, we didn't want any third parties building apps that would be taking our chat and using it elsewhere or injecting into the chat. Because, of course, the chat is a huge part of Twitch. The experience in chat is a huge part of Twitch. We didn't want to get stuff from other streams coming into Twitch, so that was a part of it. The other issue in terms of putting it on screen was one of the concerns we had was that since we spend a fair amount of time ensuring that we have lots of controls in terms of managing chat, and that's we don't control what happens on other platforms. If somebody comes into your chat and says something that's a violation of our community guidelines, we can suspend them and take action so that they can't keep doing that. So that way it doesn't put the burden on you. We don't know what happens on other platforms, and we were worried that it would become an attack vector basically to get people suspended from Twitch was to go and do stuff in the chat on other platforms because in the end, you're responsible what is on that screen and it's UGC content. So in this, this is something that in most cases, we had not been proactively managing or policing putting combined chat on screen, but it was the case that if a report was made, then we were issuing warnings. And that was what happened recently for Gigook. And I don't think, in hindsight, we've definitely heard the feedback. And so to be clear, we are updating our enforcement guidelines to make sure we are not issuing enforcement actions for integrating combined chat on the video from your stream, such as what happened with Gigook and what he was doing when he received the warning. Now, it's important to note the streamer is still taking responsibility for what happens in the chat from third-party platforms since we don't control that. So sorry about the confusion. Thanks for the feedback.